Hi everyone, Nikki Buckaloo here at the Seniors Real Estate Institute. Thanks for joining me for this video where I'm going to answer the question, why won't senior living communities call me back? You may have noticed lately, if you are trying to get into relationship with some local senior living communities or take a tour, for instance, to get your certification, that you may not be getting as many return phone calls as you would think. And that can be a little bit curious, like, why won't they call me back, right? They're in sales, I'm in sales, you call people back, right? Well, there may be a few reasons for that. And so I just want to shed some light on some of the challenges that are happening in the industry, which can make it difficult for us to build a relationship with them, but also just to learn the inventory. So here's a couple of things just to keep mindful of, right? There's a lot of turnover right now. The senior living community industry after the pandemic has gone through a lot of changes, a lot of purchases and sales of different communities, a lot of people moving around and transferring. And so as a result, when you call, you might be getting somebody who's on their way out the door that week, and you might be getting somebody brand new who's completely immersed in training, in which case they're having to prioritize those phone calls, and so you may not be getting a phone call back because of that. The second reason is that senior living community reps, you may not know this, but they are tasked with returning phone calls to every online lead that comes in. You know, in real estate, you get online leads and you kind of pick and choose, right? Which ones you want to call and which ones you don't, if you call at all, or text or email. And in a corporate environment, a lot of the marketing reps are required to follow up on every lead and document what they did to follow up with those leads. Now, unfortunately, as you know, when we talk with older adults, even if they're not a good lead, you may have a 30-minute conversation with them because you're trying to be respectful and helpful. And so by the end of the day, that marketing rep might have fielded as many as 10 or 20 or even 30 online leads in that day. And that's not the only touch that they have to make. Now, I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just giving you their reality. In talking with marketing reps in different companies, if they're corporate owned, they're very regimented and they have very specific rules and requirements about how many phone calls they make, how many touches, how many contacts, and more importantly, the documentation. They don't get to make a phone call and then go to the next one. They have to document. So it takes a lot of time, and many times they're spending hours just documenting their tours and their conversations. The third thing is you're not the only real estate agent that's probably calling them. And if they've had a bad experience, then chances are, unfortunately, that may negatively affect them wanting to call you back. There are a lot of real estate agents out there right now who are trying to get into the senior market, and they walk around with their hand out. They're trying to get leads and they're trying to get referrals and they're passing their business card out, and marketing reps, quite frankly, are turned off by that. And so if unfortunately you follow another agent who has given them a bad taste in their mouth, you may not be getting a phone call back. That's not your fault, it's just the reality of it. So how do you deal with this? How do you deal with not getting phone calls back when you know that one of the things you want to do is add value to that community and serve their needs, but also the people that may be moving there? So here are 3 things. Ready? Number 1, don't be a pest, right? Number 1, don't be a pest. What I mean by that is if you call and they tell you they're having an open house for the public and you're welcome to come to the open house, then go to the open house. Introduce yourself, let them know that you're there, take the tour, look around, and then leave. And then follow up with a nice personal note or a note card that tells them thank you for the opportunity, and see if you don't have a little warmer reception on your follow-up. The other thing is, don't put them on a drip campaign, right? Like, I've had agents say, well, I put these people on my drip campaign, they're getting my information. Well, chances are, if you're dripping on them and the information is not relevant, they've already unsubscribed. At the very least, they're ignoring you. So number 2, when you do connect with them, offer something of value. Make sure that it's something that is relevant to them. What can you do to serve their needs? How can you make their job easier, their life easier, or their incoming residents' lives a little easier? Don't just go in as any old real estate agent would. And then the third thing, try mail. You know, a lot of agents have forgotten that there are these things called envelopes with stamps, and you can put the address on there and you can stick things in the mail and it goes right onto their desk. I recommend trying a more personal approach and try mailing things, having things hand delivered. That has a tendency to have a little bit more impact. It doesn't mean you can't email, but that is really easy to ignore. We all know that that is true. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful. You know, I will just say this last thing, and that is that senior living community reps, the people who work there, the salespeople, they're a lot more like us than you realize. They have a job, they have inventory, and they need to fill that inventory. And anything that gets in their way of that is probably seen as a distraction. So don't be a distraction, be a help, be a value add, be a partner. And if you'll approach it from that perspective, I think you'll do fine. If you're in our class, Success in Seniors Real Estate Part 2, you already have that plan. We have it laid out for you step by step. Work the plan, trust the process, don't question it, don't modify it, just do it. It works. It's worked for a lot of people. We look forward to hearing your results, and until next time, make it a great day.